Welcome into the No BS Fantasy Football Show, and today is all about the best bets for Thursday Night Football. And we're just going to get started with a free win. That's the Saquon Barkley free square on UnderDog. You go to my profile, you go to UnderDog in the App Store, you sign up with code NOBS, you get bonus cash when you sign up, and you get this Saquon Barkley free square. So an amazing start to the video. You already got one leg under your belt, but we're going to jump over to FanDuel because we want to look at some of the game lines as well. We are going to come back for our play of the week. You can see I got it ready with the 3 plays right there. We're going to go over to FanDuel and talk about the game lines, passing, rushing, receiving, a first quarter prop as well if you're looking for something that may or may not hit early in the game. So let's jump right over there. So here we are on FanDuel, and you can see the spread for this game, 8.5 points. I'm going to scroll down here, and you're going to see that is the biggest spread of the week. Maybe surprising because we do see the Cowboys in general as a quality team. You know, they got Dak Prescott, they got CeeDee Lamb, they got George Pickens. But, man, it's just the biggest spread of the week. It's crazy with Micah Parsons leaving. They lost a few extra points there. So that's something I'm staying away from. I think the Cowboys are a solid enough team. I do like the Eagles to win this one, but there's really no value there. So my game play of the week is going to be on the total. I do see with the Cowboys' high-powered offense, I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points in this game no matter what happens. So I am going to take the over 47.5 points. We know the Eagles can absolutely dominate. I think they could be the one scoring 30 in this game, which means we need 18 from the Cowboys. So I kind of like that scoreline there. I think the Eagles probably cover the spread, honestly, but I'm not going to put any money on that. But I do like the over for the game. First game of the season, I think that gives the offense a little bit of an advantage because they've had time to prep and prepare a little bit more for this game. So I like the over here. Now we're going to jump into the game itself, and we're going to look into some of the, I think we'll start with the passing. We'll start with touchdowns. I'm not a big touchdown guy, but in this one, I do like the Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. It is minus 200. That's really the only one I would take in this game because, yes, I think the Cowboys will score some touchdowns. I think the Eagles will score some touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, I think, is really the only sure thing in this game. And I'm just not a big anytime touchdown guy, except when people score so many touchdowns. So if you do like this one, and anytime it is minus 200, so it's not the best value. But for me, I'm not all about hitting these huge parlays. Maybe that's your thing. But for me, I like to do single bets, be consistent. That's how you win over the long run. Everyone posting a 5-leg parlay for week 1. You know, most of those are going to lose. If they win, it's great for them. If they lose, nobody blames them. That's why everybody does the 5-leg parlays. For me, that's just not my thing. I like individual bets. I try to win over the long run. It's more of a strategy than a lottery ticket for me. But I would go with the Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. So I will lock that one in on this video as one of my recommended plays. We're going to jump over to the passing props here. So we got Jalen Hurts at 212 yards. We got Dak Prescott at 248. You know, I think both those are great lines. You know, I'm just going to say that these are great lines in my book. I do see Dak passing a little bit more. I see Hurts. He could be well under that. He could be over that. Just depends on how much the Cowboys can score, really. That's really what's going to put pressure on Jalen Hurts to pass the ball is the Dallas Cowboys scoring early and often to force the Eagles to pass a little bit more. We're going to look at the receiving props here in a second. You're going to see that A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, not even projected for that many catches here. So I'm not going to touch those. But the one I do like is the player passing touchdowns. I do like the Dak Prescott player passing touchdowns of 1.5. I'll take the over on that one as well. I'm not trying to really bet against people week 1 with these lines. And we look at the 1.5. I think the value is pretty good at plus 112. You can see the under is there for both of these players. But honestly, it's Jalen Hurts. The Eagles will score more points in this game. That's the projection here. That's based on the spread, based on the over-under. But I do also think that the value is pretty similar here. 120 for Jalen Hurts, 112 for Dak Prescott for a team that does like to pass a lot in the red zone. So I like this play here. I think that's a good one there. I'm obviously not logged in here, but I do like that play on Dak Prescott as one of my plays of the week. And now we're going to jump over to receiving props. That's really the only passing prop that I like this week. The receiving props, these ones are kind of scary because CeeDee Lamb, 71 yards. That seems pretty doable. A.J. Brown, 69 yards. I don't really trust these Eagles receivers because he's either going to go for 120 or he's going to go for like 50 because they just don't pass that much. I think that we're going to see a lot of Saquon Barkley this game. We got Devonta Smith at 53, George Pickens at 55. I like that one as well. But for me, I'm a big receptions guy. I don't normally do the yards on my plays. I really like going for the receptions. And we're going to look at the receptions here. The ones that I'm keen in on, you can see A.J. Brown, 4.5. He's got the same line as George Pickens, same line as Devonta Smith. Now, I'm not going to take really any of these Eagles props because I just don't trust them. I don't know who the ball is going to go to. and they're definitely going to be trying to stop A.J. Brown from scoring those long touchdowns. They're going to have to try to stop Saquon Barkley as well. So the Eagles offense, I'm not really leaning into unless it's Saquon Barkley, but I do like the Cowboys here. We see CeeDee Lamb. I like this 6.5. I'm going to recommend that one. I'm also going to recommend the George Pickens because 12 receptions, we need 7 from Lamb. We need 5 from George Pickens. I think both of those are very possible. I could see both those getting over halfway there just in the first half alone. And I'm going to actually jump over to the WalterPicks app real quick, and we're going to look at the Prop Evaluator. Now, this is free as part of a free trial we've got going on. So this is one of our premium features, but right now there's a free trial when you sign up with code NOBS. I've got it in the banner below, and this is one of the free features that you can get for week 1 to help you out. I'm going to filter by just this Thursday night game, and you're going to see that CeeDee Lamb receiving, George Pickens receptions, CeeDee Lamb receptions are some of the favorite picks by the WalterPicks app. We have our EV Edge model, which looks at millions of data points. It finds the best books that do the best work on receptions. So that for these two specifically, it looks over all the sports books, all the lines, and finds which sports book is sharpest at receptions. It also combines it with our projections for week 1. And together we get this EV Edge model, and it likes both these as well. So I love when my props agree with the WalterPicks app. I definitely start here to find some of my favorite props of the week that we also like based on tons of research. You can also research some of these picks in the app. Now it is week 1, so there's obviously not season data to go off of, but that's one of my favorite things about this Prop Evaluator in the WalterPicks app, and it likes both those receptions. And you can see here, you can find all the best lines. So if you want to do it on Prize Picks, you want to do it on UnderDog, you can, but you can also search through here and find the best lines possible. So that's in the WalterPicks app, and you can start with a free trial when you sign up with my code NOBS. So we're going to head back over to FanDuel, but I did want to highlight this in the app because these are 2 of WalterPicks' favorite bets for the week as well. Jumping over to the rushing props, and of course, you already know there's really only one player I'm interested here, and it is Saquon Barkley. I'm honestly going to go with the over 93.5 yards. I could see this being a legacy game, a statement game for the Eagles. Everyone says, oh, they're going to pass more, or they're facing a tougher schedule this year. They're starting off against the Dallas Cowboys, who have a healthy Dak Prescott, a healthy George Pickens, a healthy CeeDee Lamb, and they're 8.5-point favorites. This team is going to be dominant again in 2025. And I think they're going to show that week 1, letting Saquon Barkley kind of get a head start on that rushing record this year. So I am going Saquon Barkley with the over 93.5 yards. That's one of my favorite plays of the week. That would be the one that I'd go for the most on this list, actually. I know it will take almost the entire game, but I don't care, if the Eagles are ahead or behind. As long as they can keep it close, Saquon Barkley will be eating this game. So that's one of my favorite rushing props. I'm not going to touch Jalen Hurts, Javonte Williams, or Dak Prescott. I know this Javonte Williams line is tempting, but there's a reason it's so low. And if you look at the rush attempts as well, you could also go with the rush attempts for Saquon Barkley. That may be a little bit better for some of you. With Javonte Williams, 10.5 rushing attempts, which is a decent amount, and only 36.5 yards. So they're not projecting much success for this Dallas Cowboys run game, which is why in the receiving props, I like that CeeDee Lamb and that George Pickens receptions line because they're going to have to pass this entire game. That's why I like the passing touchdowns as well for Dak Prescott. This entire game is looking like Saquon Barkley dominating on the ground, and then you have the Dallas Cowboys trying to catch up through the air. You always want to have kind of a story, a game script to go along with your bets, and that's what I think is going to happen week 1. Now for the quarter props, there is some good ones actually that I like. So we're going to take a look at one of those here. So the game specials, though, this is where they get you. This is just a huge recommendation for me. Don't touch these game specials. These are some of the worst odds you can possibly get. Sometimes there's a couple. I always go to the ones with like lower odds, like the minus or the just plus 100s. But these like plus 12,000s, you can find. I would rather do like a 5-leg parlay and get plus 2,500 than take one of these plays because there's a reason they put them on here every single week. They make them money. So I'm not touching any of these this week. I'm not touching the defense as well. I like some players to record a sack, but I'm not going to touch that one. Now, this is one of my favorite plays of the game as well, and it's Eagles minus 1.5 in the first quarter. You look at the first half, the Eagles are 5.5-point favorites. You look at the first quarter. Now, Dallas could start with the ball. That's kind of like a little bit of a coin flip there, but I am going to trust the Eagles to score in the first quarter and to hold Dallas to a little bit less here. So I do like this play of the Eagles minus 1.5 in the first quarter. I think this is a good play for you, and it does happen early on. So if you're one of those people that likes to see something happen early and you want some whole game plays, I think this first quarter prop for the Eagles is a good one. So we're back over to UnderDog. Remember, you do get this Saquon Barkley free square when you sign up in the profile with code NOBS. You will also get bonus cash as well. So it's an amazing way to start your week 1. And I'm just going to head down to my picks. Now, I'm in New York, so I need to maybe change the way I'm doing these, but right now it's ineligible. And it is a $10 max. I'm not a huge player on these. I don't put in huge money. I think it's a lot of fun. I love to do this on a weekly basis. I love the research. I love to try to win. I'm not putting my life savings into these by any means. This is a $10 play. That's good enough for me, honestly. I'm doing the Saquon, the 0 rush yards, obviously a free win there on the Eagles side. I didn't like a lot of their props, so I love that Saquon Barkley was the free square. I like Dak Prescott on the 2 touchdowns. And then between Pickens and CD, I went with CD Lamb. Now, again, you'll notice I didn't put all my plays on here. I do not do the 5-leg parlays. I always recommend maybe 2 players at most. I normally like to do 1 player each, but since we did get the free square, I'm trying to maximize a little bit more. But that's what I'm going for this week. The CD Lamb receptions, the Dak Prescott touchdowns, and the Saquon Barkley free square. If you try that out, again, use code NOBS in the link tree. And then also grab that WalterPicks app for the rest of your week 1 props. It's got the prop evaluator. You can use a free trial this week with code NOBS in the WalterPicks app as well. So let me know what you're going for down in the comments of this video. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see a video like this every single week, and I'll see you next time.